Okay, we're doing number 11. Okay. Inverse function means to switch it to x equals to negative 3 over 5y plus 7 over 5. And the rest is just plain old algebra solving for y. So we do minus 7 over 5 on both sides. Have x minus 7 over 5 is equal to negative 3 over 5y. We multiply both sides by negative 5 over 3. Yeah.
Why are you allowed to just switch it? Like why?
Because that's what they tell you to.
Sorry, how does that make the inverse function?
Because by definition, inverse is to switch input and output. So the example we gave in class was, let's say your height to your income, right? And then the theory goes that you make $700 more every inch taller a year. So if you're 5'1" and 5'2", actually should be that. Then let's say this is 50,000, and this would be 50,700 a year. Okay, are you with me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. To do the inverse simply means to switch it from income to height. So the line will look like 45-degree line, which means it will look like this. Okay? See how I'm using a 45-degree line to do the flip? Right? Remember an inverse graph? It's just x and y flip, which means you're flipping the graph through the 45-degree line. Okay? So I put this down here, I put that point here, I put this point up here. Okay? That's a 45-degree line. So now I'm giving, if I ask you, my salary is 50,000. How tall do you think I am? That's by definition what an inverse is. You take what used to be an output, turn it into the input you're given, and then you ask a reverse question. Yes? That's why you can do that. By definition, that's what inverse is. Yes?
I know we're not actually talking about the topic, but you think it falls off after like you say the frequency?
The 700 is an average. And they said that research doesn't depend on, doesn't include jobs that actually require height, like basketball play. If it's basketball player, you can imagine it to be even more extreme.
If you get past 7 foot, it falls off.
Potentially, but you might stand out so much that you don't get advantage. The 700 is an average. I think what they did is that they compared someone who is, let's say, 6'4" with someone who's 5'3" with the same salary, and they found that 11 inches made about 8,000 difference. And they did the math, and it says about 700 inch. So the key isn't so much that how much per inch. The key is that it does go up because of human nature. The Bible says, man, what looks at outward experience, but God looks at your heart, right? Remember 1 Samuel? Samuel had to pick David.
I like the way you're relating math to the Bible.
You know, it's always related. The Bible has something to say about almost every single thing in life. Anyway, do I need to finish? So multiply it in. This becomes negative 5 over 3x. The 5 and the 5 cancel out, the negative and the negative cancel out, become plus 7 over 3 equals to just y. So y is equal to negative 5x plus 7 over 3. Very good? Any other questions on your homework? Anything? Anything? Did you all get this part, the proving part, verifying? Yes? I'll do a very easy one. Make sure you're doing the same way. So to verify means that you have to do two things. One is f of g of x. You have to prove that this is equal to x, and you have to prove that this is equal to x. Is that what you did? So you will write this is equal to x plus 4 instead of x, I write x minus 4. Okay? This is how you would write that. So this one you will write g of x is supposed to be x minus 4, but instead of x I put in f of x plus 4 minus 4, x plus 0, x. This is how you verify. Okay. And notice I'm just taking a step to actually follow what you learned in geometry. Right. This is called the associative property of addition, and then that's called substitution, and this is identity property of addition. Okay. So geometry also applies to this. Yes.
Do you have to do both?
Yes, you have to do both. It's possible to have one work but not the other. I just can't think of an example right now. I think so. Oh, here's one. I think you can have. Anyone think of one?
Yeah, it's like one in another.
Square root of something. What do you mean square root of something? Give me an example. Anyone else? One that f of g of x gives you x, but g of f of x doesn't. There's a super easy one. What is it? Exponent is what? Exponent odd number. Okay, so we're x3, x what? 1/3. They're inverse. I think that wasn't recorded. How about that? Wait, f of g. No, that doesn't work still.
That still
That still doesn't work. Is there one? The one I thought it was this. Right? Because f of g of x is equal to absolute value negative x, which is x. But g of f of x is equal to negative absolute value of x. That's actually equivalent. It's equal to that. Actually, even this is not really right. If x is negative, then you don't actually get x. You actually get positive x. Yeah. I don't know. So these are actually not true too. I don't know. I can't think of one. But the book says to check both. We'll take it by faith right now. I'll give you a tree. You can find one without using the internet. Without using the internet, if you can think of one that's f of g of x equals x, but g of f of x doesn't. Really? You're waiting for this to tell us?
I just had motivation. Just like 3 and 0.
3 and 0. What do you mean? F of x equals to 3? And then g of x equals to 0?
Like 3 and 0, and then you put like.
You want to think through this before you open your mouth? You have one?
I think so.
Okay, that's good.
X equals
It's funny, these people start talking when I said there's a tree. I didn't even know tell you what the tree is. You know, my kids, if I said, first we're going to put your shoes on, get a flick, they get really excited and they go put their shoe on so they can get a flick.
What's a flick?
Flick. I flick really hard.
Why?
Okay?
I think it's got
I'll turn off the recording first and I'll flick you.
Yeah, no.
And I want to record you screaming. Yeah, so they'll say, first person they can put your shoes on, get a flick, and they're like, I want a flick, and they will like run over. Maybe that's your treat.
Like they want to be hit.
So then I can flick them and they go, doesn't hurt, because I flick really lightly. Once I reward, I just go, abuse, and then my dad goes, doesn't hurt. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
X squared.
X squared?
Negative square root x.
negative square root of x. Wow, that's deep. Yeah? Yeah, I think that works.
Wait, can you
Right?
show us how to-
This is really the same as the absolute value one. So I'm not sure if negative x still apply, does it? Negative x would break that. I don't know.
Can you show us this one? Like, how that works?
How this works. So you have f of g of x, which is, instead of x, I write in negative squared, which is equal to negative 1 squared and square root of x squared. Does that make sense? Because negative is really negative 1 times.
Oh, you took it out.
I'm not taking it out, it was always there. This is called power of product. Right? When you have xy squared, you know you can write it as this. Right? So this is same as that. So this becomes 1, this becomes x, which is x. However, on this side, I write that, this is equal to negative x. So this doesn't apply, this does. It's almost the same example as the one I had with absolute value. Basically the same idea. What we're both using is the fact that square and absolute value turn the negative into positive, but other way around doesn't do that. Eric can get a flick after class.
What?
Okay, any other questions on this? I just want to make sure you are plugging into each one and double check. Okay. Okay. That means